What's up and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO. Welcome to the channel and welcome to a new series on the channel for FPL called What We Learned, where we look at all the information we've got from the previous game week and see how we can apply it to the up and coming game week, which is game week number 5. But before we get into this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit that notification bell if you want to know when I'm going live, and also subscribe to the channel if you want FPL content in your subscription box. We are literally about 45 subscribers away from 4,000. Great growth recently, so thank you guys so much for the support. Anyway, on with the video, and the first game we're going to talk about is the Manchester City game against Liverpool, where Manchester City run riot and beat Liverpool 5-0. Now, it was quite a hotly contested match until the Sadio Mane sending off when he kicked Ederson in the face. Now, I just want to defend Sadio Mane because he had every right to go for that ball. He had to go for that ball. They were 1-0 down. They were chasing the game. If he'd managed to knock that past Ederson, he'd have been able to tuck it away into an open goal. However, the red card, and I was on Twitter saying it shouldn't have been red, but having looked over it again, it should have been a red card. He kicked the guy in the face. If he hadn't kicked the guy in his face, I'd potentially say it could have been something less, like a yellow card, but you can't allow someone studs into facing someone else, even if it isn't intentional. I don't really think the injury or the damage done should be taken into account. I feel like even if Ederson had just got straight back up, a boot to the face shouldn't be allowed in the game, no matter what the intent. So that's just my take on that. But 3 players did come out of that Man City-Liverpool game from the Manchester City side of things looking very good, looking very promising for the rest of the Fantasy Premier League season. One of those being the man that a lot of people dropped, including myself, Kevin De Bruyne. Now at 9.9 million, he came in with a 9-point haul where he performed really well, but I would like to just tag something onto that. I feel like he was allowed to roam further forward as soon as Sadio Mane got sent off because of the way the game was going. He was sitting pretty deep before that. Yes, he got the assist for the first goal to Sergio Aguero, where he managed to play a beautiful through ball through the middle of the Liverpool defence to Aguero, who took it around the keeper. But Kevin De Bruyne isn't playing in as advanced position as I'd like when they're playing 11 men. When they were playing 10 men, he went further forward. He also got that cross that he put into Jesus for Jesus to score. But I still feel like over the long term, if you've dropped Kevin De Bruyne, it's probably going to be okay. But in the game, however, he did get 9 points. He got 2 assists. He created 3 chances, and his minute per chance created was at 30 minutes. So he only created 3 chances in total. Just 2 of them happened to go straight into the back of the net, which is unfortunate for those that dropped him. I dropped him for Mohamed Salah, who got subbed off at half time. So great first game for the game week for me, but I'm not doing too badly at the moment as things stand while I'm recording this on Sunday evening. The other 2 players that come out of this looking really good were Gabriel Jesus and Sergio Aguero, the 2 front men. Now, if both of them are playing, at least that stops the worry about which of them's going to be a rotation risk, or are they both going to be a rotation risk. If they're both playing, then neither's a rotation risk, which is a plus. However, they're going to share the points, which was clearly shown through this match. Gabriel Jesus came out the better with 12 points from 2 goals and 3 bonus points. His minute per chance was also at 14.3, but that's because he was taken off so early. However, he may have got more chances if he'd been kept on the pitch, but Pep Guardiola looks like he's trying to protect him. Sergio Aguero coming at 11.4 million, got 9 points, scoring 1 goal and getting 1 assist, where he unselfishly laid the ball off to Gabriel Jesus. His minutes per chance was at 30 minutes. All 3 of these players' next game is against Watford away. Now, Watford probably aren't going to be as open as Liverpool, probably not going to chase the game as much as Liverpool did, because Liverpool were going there to win. And then when they were 10 men down, they just couldn't contest with it. Liverpool's defence, as we all know, is pretty shocking. So I don't feel like Watford are going to be so easy for Man City to carve open, but Jesus and Aguero both look like they could be options for the season. I personally still feel like Kevin De Bruyne is one that probably is just a little too expensive to be having in your sides for how advanced he's going to be on the pitch. Another point I'd like to touch on is Man City's wing-backs or full-backs. They both look very dangerous. Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy both look like they could get a lot of points this season. And this is my point behind Marcos Alonso. There seems like there's other options that could potentially get equal to or the same as Marcos Alonso. I've personally brought Marcos Alonso into my side because at the moment, him and Ben Davies just stand out from the rest of the pack as far as fullbacks go through their point potential. But I can see throughout the season that potentially players like Mendy or Kolasinac could get the same amount of points as Alonso, which would mean Alonso isn't worth the money that you have to spend on him. But a lot of fullbacks at the moment in sides like Man City, and as we go into the video, other sides look very, very dangerous. Moving on to Everton versus Spurs, and a great performance by Spurs after the international break, kind of reintroducing themselves to the Premier League, because for some reason August doesn't seem to be their month, especially Harry Kane's. However, in this game they managed to win 3-0 away. Goodison Park, Everton have seemed like a very solid side, and then they were just torn apart by Spurs. And to be honest, Jordan Pickford is the only reason that there weren't more goals scored in this game. There were 3 players that really stood out to me. Unfortunately, one of them I did transfer out of my side for Phil Jones, and that was Ben Davies. A lot of people telling me he's going to be a rotation risk. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, I wouldn't drop him if I was the manager. Ben Davies at 5.6 million scored 14 points in game week 4, getting 2 assists and 2 bonus points, creating 4 chances. He also had a goal threat as well, and his minute per chance created was at 22.5 minutes. Ben Davies looks like he could be worth every single bit of that 5.6 million at the moment, and Spurs have, like Man City, attacking wing-backs or full-backs that look like they could be very dangerous this season, with Serge Aurier and Kieran Trippier and Danny Rose if he comes back into the side, so that's definitely something we need to watch. The other 2 players to stand out were Harry Kane, 12.4 million. He's dropped in price because of his poor August form. However, as soon as August's gone, he scores 2 goals and gets 13 points in a game week with 3 bonus points, with a very lucky cross/goal, and then also a very good finish off of a Ben Davies cross. His minutes per chance was at 21.3, but we know he's been getting plenty of chances. He just put none of them away in August. Harry Kane now looks like the player that we all remember from last season and the season before, and looks like he might be a must-have. The other player, and he's really impressed me this season so far, is Christian Eriksen. He looks like he's stepped his game up even a bit more than it was from last season. He comes in with 8 points from game week 4. He's managed to score 1 goal in this game, but he looked very, very dangerous. His minutes per chance was actually at 14.2 for the game, so he's getting plenty of chances. He looks like he could be the finished article almost as a player now. He looks just so calm, composed, getting into the right areas. I'm very impressed with how Christian Eriksen has looked in these first 4 game weeks, despite the fact Spurs haven't been performing that well the entire time. All 3 of these players are now going to come up against Swansea in game week 5, and Swansea, they did lose to Newcastle, but they look like they could be defensively solid, but I imagine Spurs shouldn't have a problem scoring against them. It is at home against Wembley, so we'll get to see if that Wembley jinx is in effect, but Spurs just carved open Everton, so I shouldn't see why they can't do it to a team like Swansea either. We then go on to the team that has been the hot topic recently in Fantasy Premier League and the Premier League in general, and it's Man United. They had their game against Stoke, which turned out to be a 2-2 draw. Man United still look like an attacking threat. Pogba, Lukaku, Mkhitaryan, other players as well, still look like they could be viable picks for our Fantasy Premier League season. However, their defence looked poor. I'm going to put it out there that Phil Jones and Eric Bailly have looked very good recently, but as soon as they came up against an organised Stoke side that had a counter-attacking threat, they both made mistakes which caused Man United to concede 2 goals and only get a point from this game. I'm also looking at Romelu Lukaku's actual performances, and it's irritating because he had plenty of chances. He had a minute per chance ratio of 15 minutes. He managed to score 1 goal, getting 6 points. He should have scored more. He should have looked better than he did. Because he's got such creative forces behind him, it looks like he's going to score no matter how good he actually looks and how well he performs. Compare his performance to Harry Kane. Harry Kane looks like the better player. Romelu Lukaku cost me points because he didn't put away a chance first time of asking when Mkhitaryan put him through. Of course, he put away the rebound, but then Mkhitaryan doesn't get the assist. So I personally don't like you now, Romelu Lukaku. That would have been some points that would have really helped me rise up the rankings. But Romelu Lukaku still looks like a very safe captaincy option at the moment, so potentially you could keep him in your side, but there's so many options behind him that is he really value for money. Paul Pogba being the other one to mention from this game, coming in at 8.3 million. He managed to get 5 points from this game with 1 assist. His minutes per chance created was at 30 minutes, so he created 3 chances in the game. And the next fixture for Pogba, Lukaku and Mkhitaryan is Everton at home. Everton will be either trying to bounce back from that performance or they'll be demotivated, so we'll have to see which Everton turn up. but there's still value in that Manchester United attack, but the defence has just looked very, very poor. The man to stand out from the Stoke City side of things was Choupo-Moting, coming at 5.5 million. He got 15 points in Game Week 4 with 2 goals, 3 bonus points, and he had a chance every 15 minutes. Their next fixture is against Newcastle away. Newcastle have just picked up a win, but still haven't looked convincing. Stoke look like, as long as they can stick together as a side, stay disciplined in their approach, look like a side that could get points, and Choupo-Moting run that game. He looked very, very dangerous, and if he can have a couple more performances like that at 5.5 million, he's definitely worth being your third striker. The next game we're going to look at, and it's Arsenal's 3-0 win over Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth are starting to look like a bit of a whipping boys team. Their defence can score goals, but they don't seem to be able to defend very well. That of course is a plus if you notice that one of your players is playing against Bournemouth, but means their defence, which is quite overpriced considering their goal scoring threat, isn't really worth considering for the Fantasy Premier League at the moment. However, Arsenal did play very well against Bournemouth. They seem to be playing more of their style, quick passing football, quick attacks. Sanchez is back in the consideration. He was on the bench and I believe he came on during the match. However, Lacazette and Danny Welbeck are the 2 players that stood out. Danny Welbeck has that asterisk though of is he just there until Alexis Sanchez gets fit. But Arsenal did look very dangerous. Aaron Ramsey also getting an assist and Kolasinac also getting some points as well. But Lacazette at 10.4 million, he managed to score a goal in front of his home fans again, getting 6 points from 1 goal, and he had a chance every 37.5 minutes, which isn't the best ratio. But Welbeck at 7.5 million had a great game, getting 16 points from 2 goals and 1 assist, getting all 3 bonus points, and he had a chance every 25 minutes, better than Alexandre Lacazette's. And they're both playing Chelsea next, so definitely a more difficult fixture. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry that form on, but Danny Welbeck most likely is just there until Alexis Sanchez is fit again. Kolasinac as well can now also be added to those attacking wing-backs or full-backs that look like they could be great value this season, despite their expensive defender cost. And then finally from Game Week 4, the 2 players that stood out in other fixtures. I'm not going to go into detail about the fixtures, but I'm going to bring up the players. One of them is Alvaro Morata. Chelsea managed to beat Leicester 2-1. Alvaro Morata has looked very good leading the line at Chelsea so far this season. He managed to bag himself another goal. He also got behind Leicester's defence a couple of times, looked very dangerous. He got a chance every 18 minutes. They're playing Arsenal at home next. If Alvaro Morata can continue this form, he could be a replacement for Lukaku or Kane to give you some more money to spend elsewhere. And then we have the Brighton game against West Brom, where Brighton managed to win 3-1. Pascal Gross was the man that run the show in that game, coming at 5.4 million. He had a great game, managing to get 2 goals and 1 assist, as well as 3 bonus points, leading to an 18-point haul in the FPL. He had a chance every 30 minutes on goal, and he also created a chance every 22.5 minutes. If he can become the star man at Bournemouth and Bournemouth can keep getting goals, he could be a vital player for this season. He was also a player that has proven he can play well in a team that aren't doing that well before, because in Bundesliga he played for Ingolstadt and he was creating chances there despite the fact that that team was, I believe they got relegated. So he's shown he can perform in a lower side in a league. So Pascal Gross definitely looked very promising in that game. They've got Bournemouth next, and as I said, Bournemouth look like the whipping boys at the moment of the Premier League, so potentially Pascal Gross could get a lot more points. We have to keep an eye on him. If I keep talking about him in this video and in the ones to watch, then he's definitely someone you should consider putting into your side. That is it for this episode of what we learned from Game Week 4 for Game Week 5. I hope this has helped you with your considerations for your Fantasy Premier League side. If it has, please hit that like button for me and hit that notification bell if you want to know when these videos go live. There's also links in the description down below if you want to support the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. I love all my patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.